All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Rakaka Dash, the Buhana Tunsail, and Apostle of the Mission. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim who are pushing these truths to the four winds of heaven, who make their body a living sacrifice, being on a front line as the soldiers of Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai, to make sure that Jerusalem become a praise again on yes, man. You see, so that we can rule the nation with an iron fist, man. You see, and in today's lesson, I'm going to talk about. There was a lesson in which Dr. Edom, Vocab Malone, you see, he did concerning Mark 7, and he went on to say all food are lawful. In another word, you can say you can eat all the food you want. If you want to eat a cockroach, you can eat, because the Lord broke it down in Mark 7. That see that that in nothing entering into a man can defile him, but that which come out. So you can eat anything which can enter in your belly will not defile you, man. But what you need to understand, we have two types of belly. We have the spiritual belly, and we have the physical belly, which is your stomach. So the Lord in Mark 7, what he did is, the Pharisee asked about things which can defile your physical belly, but the Lord talked on a flip side, because there is balance to spiritual thing and the physical thing. In that balance, you have things which can defile your physical belly, and the things which can defile your spiritual belly, which is your mind. So the Pharisee back then, they only focused on things which can defile your physical belly. So because the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the Lord of balance, if Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the Lord of balance, the same goes with his son Yahushai. So he wanted to make an equalizer, so he talked about things which can defile your spiritual belly. Mark 7 don't mean that Yahushai said that you can eat the hell you want, man. Yahushai, what he did, he talked about that balance, man. You see, there is a balance between the things in your flesh and the things in your spirit. But I am not talking about there is a balance between sin and righteousness. I am talking about things which can be done in your flesh, righteous things which can be done in your flesh, and the righteous things which can be done in your spirit, man. There is a balance to that, man. Like an example, let's take an example of the mustard seed. Let's talk about faith. Faith is likened into a mustard seed, man. When it planted into your heart, meaning your mind, you see, that mustard seed, that little seed will grow into a big, huge tree. Meaning what? The first time you hear somebody break it down, the scriptures, a faith like a mustard seed will be planted in your mind. After a while, that seed will grow into a tree, to the extent that people around you, they will notice some changes, man. So there is a balance right there, man. Eh, eh. Faith start in your heart, man, where nobody can notice. That's why it is likened into a mustard seed. When a mustard seed fall into a soil, you can't really see it unless that tree start to grow, man. You see, unless that tree start to grow. You see, so if faith start to grow in your heart, it will manifest physically, man. It will start affecting your day-to-day activity, man. You won't engage in this what you call this vain debate and talks, unity camp and whatever. That is first affecting you physically, man, to the extent that people can notice that this individual, he believe in certain ways of life, man. He believe in Yahaba, Hashem, Yahushai, and he upholds the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of his ability. So that is a balance between the things in the flesh, the righteous things in the flesh, and the righteous things in your spirit. And the same things goes into the dietary laws, man. There is a balance between the spiritual belly and your physical belly, man. So Yahushua broke it down to them, but they didn't get it. Like how Vocab Malone didn't get it, man. So there are things which can defile, what do you call it? See, there are things which can defile your spiritual belly, and there are things which can defile your physical belly. So Yahushua, he expounded that paradigm, that balance, because our Lord is the Lord of balance, man. Let's go and see that. This is Proverb 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When you go to that balance, it symbolizes measurement, man. There are physical measurement going into dealing with coins and a different weight, you see, and the gold and silver. There are measurement which deal with your spiritual life, man. You see, so the thing you do physically can affect you spiritually, man. You see, so there is a balance between things in your flesh and in your spirit, man. The same thing with food. There are certain things which you can feed your belly, your physical belly. Certain food which can defile your body. Those things are explained in the books of Leviticus, the dietary law. And there are certain things like when you sleep with a woman in her menstruation, it can affect you physically, man. And that effect, it can go into your mind, man, your spiritual belly, man. You see? So there is always a balance to these things, man. The spirit and the physical, a righteous balance. I'm not talking about sin here. You see? So that's why Yahushua used to call this Pharisee, scribes and whatever, man, hypocrite, because they were hell-bent to make sure the people keep the laws, man. But themselves, they are not righteous, man. Why? Because the Pharisee and the Sadducee, they can tell you don't eat pig, but themselves, they have eaten an abominable spiritual food, like adultery, fornication, and so forth and so forth. So this carnal Pharisees, they lacked that balance in which I have explained it to you. That's why Yahweh used to cast them out, and he broke it down in Mark 7 to show them that balance between your physical belly and your spirit belly, man. You see? In the other way, he told them not only food can make you defiled, physical food, but also spiritual food. And let's go to Mark 7 and 15 to examine this scripture, man. There is nothing from without a man that entering to him can defile him, but the thing which come out of him, those are they that defile a man. So let's say, man, somebody is listening to adulterous people. How can we know this person have been defiled with adultery? We can know it by seeing him doing stuff. Let's put it like this. Mark 7 and 15 is telling you there is nothing from without a man that enter into him that can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are they that defile a man. So, as I told you before, Yahweh was talking on the other side of the balance, spiritual food. And as we said, they are spiritual food. We can't observe and see that man is eating some abominable spiritual food. No, because they are unseen. We will know it only when that man starts committing adultery, and we know, hey, this man has been defiled spiritually, man. His spiritual belly have been defiled because he have eaten abominable spiritual food. I will repeat again. Yahweh was talking about the other side of the balance, about the spiritual belly. And the spiritual belly can be defiled by you eating spiritual food. For example, when you listen to adulterous people, they will feed you your spiritual belly with adultery, man. But we can't observe and see that Brother Yeshaya now is eating spiritual food. We can only see that Brother Yeshaya is defiled spiritually by seeing me committing adultery. That's when you point out this brother have been eating some abominable spiritual food, like adultery. He have been somewhere feeding himself with adultery. That's why adultery is coming out of his spiritual belly. That's what Yahweh was trying to tell these carnal people. You see? So that is a paradigm in Mark 7. Yahweh was trying to go and explain to them the balance between the spiritual belly and the physical belly. So Yahweh didn't want to talk about the thing they know. The Pharisee knows that if you eat pig, you will be defiled, man. So Yahweh didn't want to talk about the things they know. Yahweh talked about the things they ignore, so that to put that balance. So he talked about the flip side of the discussion, man. Amen. This discussion was unbalanced because they talked about only the spiritual belly. So Yahweh tried to put that balance, man. He talked about the spiritual belly. Let's go and read Mark 7. Then came together unto him the Pharisee and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. See, these the Pharisees, they were like accusers, man. They were alert to see who breaks the law, man. But they didn't know that you cannot observe somebody who is eating abominable spiritual food. You cannot observe that, plus. How will you know that somebody is eating, let's say, a doctrine that there is a fallen angel who came here and have sex with women to produce giants? You can't observe when they see this brother now is eating that doctrine about the fallen angel. You can't observe when they see that. Unless that person starts speaking that there are a fallen angel who came down here and they slept with women, produced giants. That's where you will notice and say this individual have been listening to some false prophets and prophetess, and now he is defiled. His spiritual belly is defiled. That's the meaning of Mark 7 and 15. See, so Mr. Edom, Vocab, Malone, if you can't get these scriptures, man, sit down somewhere and listen, man. Sit down there and listen. The thing which this Edomite don't want to accept is a nigger from the ghetto. He can break down scriptures in a way you didn't expect. And this is spiritual power. For you people who are waiting for spiritual power here, man. That's why a nigger from the ghetto can break down scriptures, man, in a way that a blind can see again and a deaf can hear. You see? That is another lesson for another time. But let's continue. For verse 3, for the Pharisee and all the Jew, except they wash their hand of it, not holding the tradition of the elder. So in order for you to get the whole thing, you need to read Mark 7 all the way down to see that paradigm. That the Pharisee were talking about things which can defile your physical body, and the Hawashai talked about the things which can defile your spiritual body, your spiritual belly. So, to put it simple, Mark 7 was a balance. It was a breakdown about the balance of things which can defile your physical belly and the things which can defile your spiritual belly. You see? Let's continue. Verse 4. And when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not, and many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cup and pots and basin and vessels and the tables. Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elder, but eat bread with an washed hand? He answered and said unto them, well hath Isaiah prophesied of you, hypocrite, as it is written, the people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. That's the same thing. These Pharisees were hypocrite. You point out that you are eating something which can defile you. You are not washing your hand, that can defile you. But yourself, you are defiled in your spiritual body. You are defiled with things like adultery, fornication, worshiping other gods, being a hypocrite and a damned demon. You see, you don't see that, man, because these Pharisees were blind, man. You see? Verse 7, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrine the commandment of men. See? So, another thing which you need to understand is this Pharisee and the Sadducee, they put an extension on the laws, and they made the law to be like traditions of men. You see? For laying aside the commandment of God, he holds the tradition of men as the washing of pot and cup, and many other such like sin ye do. And they said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your own tradition. For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and who curses father or mother, let him die the death. But you say, if a man shall say this to his father or mother, it is Korban, that's to say, a gift, but whosoever though might be profited by me, he shall be free. So Yahashua began to break, like, honor your father and your mother. Honoring your father and your mother, if you don't honor your father and your mother, man, you lack that love, man. You don't have respect and whatever, man. Things like this can defile you spiritually, man. This is not something you can touch, man. How will you know that somebody don't honor his father or mother? Until he speaks something against his father, that's when you can know this individual don't honor his father and his mother. Why? Because maybe he has listened to something, or he have heard something, or whatever, man, or he have demon in him. That's where you can know that this individual is not light in the spirit. Talking again about the spiritual belly. See? So let's go jump into Mark 7:15. There is nothing from without a man that enter into him that can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. Let's say, let me give two examples in Mark 7 and 15. Let's say I listened to a video talking about the fallen angel came here and had sex, and after finishing that video, I didn't say anything. So you can't really tell that I have been defiled by that video. You see, we can only know that I have been defiled by that video when I start speaking stuff concerning the fallen angels. They came here and had sex. No, that's why you can only know that this man is defiled by the things which come out of him, out of his mind. Those are those that defile a man. So with this, I try to explain the best of my ability. To the best of my ability, I hope you brothers identified these are my 2 cents on the video in which Vocab Malone did about all food. You can eat all food if you want to eat a cockroach, a lice, or whatever you want to eat, a crab, and whatever, man. And this food, man, they are abominable. Why? Because the Lord had a reason to mention those food, man. They are not good for your health. Amen. What the Lord make it abominable, you cannot make it to be fit. You cannot make the unclean to be clean. Going back to the book of Job, if I'm not mistaken, if it is not I don't know if it is Job, don't know which Job, but I remember it is in Job. Who can make the clean from unclean? You can't do that, man. See? So with this, I hope you brothers are edified. On to the next. Shalom.